Hi class, today we'd like to talk about simplifying rational exponents. So let's start by reviewing radicals. Suppose that we want to simplify the square root of 49. Well, we probably can just look at that and tell that the answer is 7. Let's think about how we get that. We know that 49 can be written as 7 squared. The radical with no number here means square root. So it's really true that a 2 here is implied. So if we have the square root of 7 squared, 7 is squared and it's a square root or a root that's got a 2 here. So this comes out as a 7. Now let's try a related problem. Let's simplify the square root of 98. Now you may not be so sure because 98 is not a perfect square. However, we can rewrite the square root of 98 in its prime factorization. So if we just think of any two factors of 98, we may think of 2 since it's an even number, and then how many times does 2 go into 98? May take a little doing, but you'll see that that's 49. And then 49 can be broken down into 7 and 7, and I like to recopy the 2 so that all the factors are on the same level. So 98 equals 2 times 7 times 7, or we might write that as 2 times 7 squared. So if we write this as the square root of 2 times 7 squared, then we can see that we have two situations going on. One is that we have a 2 here which does not have a partner or something that is squared, so it cannot come out of the radical. And we have 7 squared which does have a partner or something squared, so it can come out of the radical. So this will equal to 7 times square root of 2. And this is the way that we simplify radicals. Radicals don't always have an index of 2, like the square root. Sometimes we have a cube root. When the index here is not a 2, we can't imply it, we must write it out. So what does it mean to say what is the cube root of 8? The cube root of 8 is any number that if you cube it, you get 8. So you may know that 8 can be rewritten as 2 cubed. Now, the thing that the number under the radical needs to get out from under the radical is not 2 anymore. Now it is 3, because it is the cube root. When we had the square root, we don't see it, but a 2 is implied here. We needed a squared to get out from under the radical. Now that we have a cube root, we need to be raised to the third power to get out from under the radical. And the cube root of 2 cubed is 2. So some of you may know just by looking at it, cube root of 8 is 2. That's obvious. Remember that it must be 2 cubed, 2 times 2 times 2, not 2 times 3. That's a common careless error. Similarly, 49 is 7 squared. 7 times 7 is 49, not 7 times 2. So let's look at a more complicated one. Simplify the cube root of 24. Like square root of 98, 24 is not a perfect cube, but we can write that using the method I showed above to find all the prime factors if we don't know them. To rewrite this as, well, 24 is 3 times 8, and we know that 8 is 2 cubed, so we get 2 cubed times 3. Now the 3 does not have anything is not raised to the third power, so it cannot come out. So when this is simplified, the 3 must stay under the radical, the cube root of 3. And the 2 can come out. Remember, it is 2 times the cube root of 3, not 2 cubed times 3.